The theme for today pushed me way harder than I would have expected. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Atreyu, and I'm drawing something new with inks every single day for InkTober. And if you're returning here with me on the challenge, welcome back. We're on day 25 of this series. And my goal for today's art was to create something like a dual-faced female. So today, let's talk about our first experiences with a particular medium. And the medium I'll talk about today is inks, because this is what we're talking about throughout the whole month, InkTober, which is actually a pretty cool challenge. I saw this a few years ago, and I don't remember exactly where I saw it. It was definitely on Instagram. But it always interests me, and I always thought it would be fun one day to be a part of InkTober. So now we officially are. And it's been a lot of fun, but yeah, I want to talk about my first experience with inks. So it wasn't exactly on day one of this series. It was pretty close to that, but I did maybe 2 or 3 ink drawings or ink paintings, whatever you want to call it, before that. And my first actual experience with ink was terrible, to be honest. It was a throwaway. It was basically just to test how ink fell on the paper. I had no idea how it was going to look or feel or stroke or anything like this. And so it was basically drawing a bunch of shapes on a page, and the idea of it was I was going to create a bunch of different like little webs on the page, like really messy webs of ink. And then I was going to go in with a smaller brush, and I was going to make like little cool faces in each of the webs of the ink. It totally did not work out like that, though. The web lines were way too thick. It lost its form, it lost its idea, and I was like, So I crunkled up the page and threw it out. I am willing to bet that almost any time any of you have tried something for the first time with creation, it was probably a throwaway. And most oftentimes, it might be a throwaway for the next 5 or 10 pieces that you create after that too. It takes a while to get into the groove and start to understand that particular medium. So if you are trying something new, I don't want you to be discouraged if maybe you're doing InkTober here along with me. Maybe you're struggling yourself on trying to figure out how to do things and this and that, and every drawing that you create is kind of looking like poo-poo. Well, that's okay. What I encourage you to do is that if you are enjoying it, to stick with it, because I feel like we need more artists in the world. I think art has probably always been something that the minority do in the world, and especially the ones that get really excellent at what they create. Definitely a strong minority. I think art is a very healthy way for us to calm our minds and to ground ourselves and to create worlds to share with each other that bring joy to one another, because we can create some cool shit, right? There's some artists that I see out there that are creating these worlds that you get totally lost in. Or even these characters that I look at them and I'm like, oh my god, wow, this is so freaking cool. And to have it be like something that comes from them as their expression as a human. Wow, I mean, it's badass. Let me tell you, for sure. And what's funny is everyone has to start out from somewhere. Everyone that's great had to start out from somewhere and start for the first time. Just like you. That's kind of I want to connect the dots to today is to get anywhere good and do anything great. Everyone has to start. No one starts off amazing at whatever they're doing. So keep that in mind as you are going through your own life. But what do we think about today's art? I think this turned out excellent. It captured the idea that I had in my head pretty well. I love the contrast of the black background against the white faces, the bright white faces. I feel like they jump out of the screen very much, and I didn't go overboard with the amount of detail that I put on these faces. I kept it simple, which I think was definitely a good direction to go on this illustration. And that's it for today's art, but it's time for
the question of the day.
Now, if this drawing could come to life, what would be the first thing it would do? For tomorrow, you can expect the drawing to be something completely different than what it was today. And thank you for watching. If you're sticking with me for all 31 days of this Inktober, you're officially a part of the challenge here with me, and I will see you all tomorrow. All right. Peace, my friends.